league, and still we've won just about everything but the first clan war against Wardi. So we're pretty happy with this. We got a lot of supporters and super fans, and we are ready to take you down, Benny. And yeah, it feels a little bit bad, right? Because you're the prior champion, so when we beat you, it's gonna be one of those storylines that's just gonna be missing from the semis.
But if Benny and the boys really come alive now, that is a road to redemption, it's got to be said, because yeah, I'm not happy with the lineup, but if they do it against with this kind of lineup, like it can't get much worse, then there's no stopping the boys. There's no stopping them, because like Ryung's been on fire this season. Maru, he did have a couple of losses here. I think one
Cheering
to
for
Showtime.
CatZ.
In fact, maybe that's his only loss. I'm not sure. That was definitely something else mixed in there. But yeah, Zest needs to do it, man. Today he's against Serral, of all people, but that'd be such a Zest thing, as Kevin said in the clan war before. Losing a very one game against time and then beating Serral afterwards. Yeah, I'm just hoping for the best here, because now I know that this means a lot to me. Now that I know that we're on the brink of extinction, because yeah, I thought we were easily going to make top 6 for this lineup, man.
Yeah, I thought so as well, to be honest. I looked at your lineup, it looked very powerful, but I also was very happy with how this stacked up against you for us. So everyone was really happy, but oddly enough, it was Serral who said this is a 50-50. So maybe he's not as confident against Zest, who is very powerful in CVP. So we'll see what he can bring later on. We are now loaded into the first game, and in the bottom left.
So I didn't forget to join the game. We're also in game. It's the fresh start of a brand new best of 5. Bottom left, DNS. Bottom right, we have Maru. So looking at the matchup, I think Maru's going to win this one, and then the Muslim's going to lose the next 3, and then possibly even the 4th. I'm certainly hoping that's how it goes. Is it possible that DNS wins this one? 10% chance? Yeah. Kind of agree with Artanis's totally out of nowhere percentages, actually. With perhaps Armani Ryung being actually a straight 50-50 or 60% in favor of Armani, actually. It's the only thing I disagree with. So, yeah, DNS shouldn't win against Maru. I don't even know what the server is. It's Central, so technically DNS does have a slight advantage. But Maru, for the most part, plays like Maru does, and he wins a lot of games. I don't think he's going to try and mech on this map again after his performance versus Showtime. I mean, I wouldn't mind if he did. And then DNS can say that he beat Maru. Mech is 0 for 2 versus Protoss in this clan war, so maybe don't go for it. It's proxy barracks. I don't think DNS is going to be terribly surprised. He does know it's a proxy barracks. That's the factory. He's going to see the barracks even come over and know that it wasn't too proxied. Actually, he sees the Reaper come over, so now he knows it's not very proxied at all. So he even gets a Zealot for the bunker. I would say, if we're being really critical, DNS could have probably gotten away with not building a Zealot and just could have pulled probes. But that is playing with fire, right? Because you pull 2 probes, the SCV does its little dodge, lucky magic trick, the Reaper shows up, and you're like, oh crap, now I gotta wait for my Stalker. You know, that's just, why bother? Get the Zealot, especially if this was gonna be a closer proxy. So I think DNS is, doing the right things. But Maru doesn't usually proxy like that in the hopes and dreams of winning the game straight up, does he? He usually just says, yeah, let's try it. All in all, though, I mean, this is supposed to be favored towards DNS. He took no damage. He did build unnecessary units. It's not going to help the rest of the game. Better way to put that. And I'm going to assume it did actually... Yeah, it's definitely not the best build order opener for him. Well, sorry. But I don't know. I think it's okay. He's gonna Twilight Council and a Robo, roughly, very similar timed. I'm guessing he is gonna go into a Dark Shrine. So Maru is gonna follow up with a Widowmine drop. Totally not unexpected, but there's a couple of ways to follow up that Proxy Reaper. I mean, we could have even had Hellions. If Hellions are trying to run across the map, they'd be blocked out by the wall. DNS would feel so good about himself. They drop in the main, maybe a little less good about himself. But ultimately, the issue with the Widowmine drop is not how you handle the Widowmines, it's whether or not it scouts the Dark Shrine. DNS had one Stalker. It's not currently in position, so it is going to scout the Dark Shrine. One Stalker would have stopped it anyways, right? So it was really dependent on how Maru dropped the Widowmines out. If he had floated towards the north entirely, dropped the Widowmines here, there's a chance he doesn't see the Dark Shrine. If he had gone towards the natural, obviously that's also, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! The last second retarget, I think, because DNS initially pulled away the wrong probe, and then he pulled away the right one, but I think that's when Maru retargeted. Or maybe not, actually, because if it retargets, it takes longer to shoot. Actually, he might have just pulled away 2 wrong probes. Oops. Whoopsie daisy. So not a strong start for DNS. A Raven's already on the way. The DT does do some early damage. 3 SCVs, not terrible. Save the Warp Prism, save the DTs. Really not terrible. But it's definitely not the start he was hoping for, because if he had done this and taken no damage back at home, then we're talking about a very good feeling for the Protoss player. Quick chrono on a probes, trying to recover. Has yet to start up anything else, though. He's affording more DTs to get another Archon, which is troublesome for him. He can barely afford the second DT, and he certainly can't afford to go right into the blink or charge. His gases are off kilter because of the pull. In the main, possibly went to get those gases faster in the natural, but again was dealing with the Widowmine. Kind of the ripple effects, the indirect ripple effects. Third Nexus comes down, sure, for DNS, but that's not even particularly quick. It's just a lot of bad. If the Archons can grab 10 SCVs in total, I'd actually be feeling better for DNS. But if it dies, then I feel terrible for DNS. Oh my god, he can't even unload the Archons. Oh my god. Well, G fucking G. Thank you, DNS, for being the sacrificial lamb. And, good day. Yes, thank you for your service. Now leave. It's very harsh, but it's also very true. DNS is astronomically behind. He's got nothing going for him. Blink will finish. No, I don't think Blink will finish. Blink won't even finish. He won't even have Blink Stalkers. Yeah, I hate DNS, yeah. Maru can improve an Idge or GG timing. Shield battery finishes up. You know. Couldn't actually hit that tank, though, before he had to retreat, so the Immortal was hoping to get at least one shot, by my guess, by my estimate. Didn't even get that. Disruptor, save the day. Could you please? That'd be so great. So far, not so good. It's too far away. Plus the interference mage. I mean, there's really no getting that Disruptor to do what it needed to do. Between the tank shooting at it and the interference matrix. Repair? I think it's worth repairing for this one Disruptor. Oh, we built a second Twilight Council. That's not what he wanted to do. DNS definitely struggling. Maru got server preference for this one. It's on. Wait, no, DNS got server preference. It's on Central. Sorry. So close, it's so far. That interference matrix, brutal. Because the Disruptor actually would have helped a lot. This was close to a hold, you know, not a game-winning hold. Maru still wins overall, but it was close to a hold. Second Disruptor, 2 of them shoot out, only 1 interference matrix available. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. That's okay. This is what we expected. And now DNS is just, well, trying to digest, I suppose. I don't think he thinks this is a super all-in for Maru. He's gonna give his charge one last hurrah, but didn't even get that. GG. Okay. 1 second. Cats were clawing at the door. So, okay, this is where I think the victories start. I think the victories start here for CatZ's team. I truly believe that any loss in these next 3 matches on CatZ's side would be an upset. Lambo should win against Nightmare. I'm sorry, Nightmare. Serral should win against Zest. Who was the last one? And Bunny should win against Prince. So anything other than that, I'm going to be very disappointed on behalf of CatZ's team. To be fair, 7 months ago, Nightmare did 2-1 Lambo. Well, the cats are so stupid, right? Sometimes I hear it because Blazer is stuck in my parents' room. So I'm like, okay, come out, Blazer. And he's just dumb. Like, why do you enter that room only to want to immediately exit? But what's happening now is that Nugget and Nixie are on either side of the door trying to, like, get one another. Because they don't like each other. But if you open the door, Nugget is, like, gonna win. Nixie just runs. So I'm like, Nixie, why are you antagonizing her? What is happening? Cat dynamics, man. Bottom right, Lambo. Top left, Nightmare. Nightmare loves his early probes. So, yeah, Lambo, I think, wins this. I know they're only best of 3 together. Nightmare won, but it was a long time ago. I don't know what actually happened in it. I'm going to assume that it was not Lambo at his best. Lambo is fairly dependable. And I think actually having that first-hand experience against Nightmare plus any preparation he does actually benefit him. Whereas Nightmare, I actually don't know. I don't know anything about the kid. I really don't. He can't be that young because he was in GSL like 6 years ago. Maybe he's like 22. I don't actually know. But I don't really think of any of the Korean players as the type to, let's say, over-prepare. Where I think Lambo can even be accused of over-preparing. He really likes studying the game. He really likes it for the purpose of his own victories, but also just for the purpose of like understanding the meta and what to even give like his teammates. And just a studious kind of guy. Nightmare, I don't think so. So Nightmare might remember vaguely what happened. What has happened with the camera? It seems weird. Oh, I know what was happening. Because I was also following the probe with Wardi. I think it was freaking out. Anyways, Nightmare might remember the best of 3 they played and be like, oh, that guy was weak to an Adept all-in. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But I just don't think it's that... I'm not really all that worried. Maybe I should be. So Lambo takes the gold. He was blocked at the natural. It looked like he was mostly okay with it. I didn't notice his mineral count when he stopped down the spawning pool, so it's very possible that he thought he could get a hatch first and then was like, okay. Typical Protoss bullshit. But I'm not sure. This could have even been put down at 16 very much on purpose, knowing that this was very likely that Nightmare likes doing this. I don't know. Drones are being pulled over to the gold base. We know from a lot of other PvZs that happen on this map, which, you know, it's not supposed to happen that often, because Zergs like this map. The other races don't. But we know it happens occasionally. Resident Enclaves is a big thing. And 4 hours ago, delirious state, super tired. I kind of forgot DTs were also a thing. But I don't think Lambo's going to make the same mistake that Rattata did, especially because I don't think the pressure is on. I think Rattata is affected by the pressure. We're a team that's very much on the brink of elimination. Lambo's not. So I think Lambo's going to calmly plant down a Spore and a Spine. If it was Twilight Council, it'd be totally fine. It's not a Twilight Council, actually. It's a Stargate. And it's seen by this Overlord. Then that means there really is no way to punish the gold base. So, you know, we go with depths. It's not really good at punishing the gold base as the gold base itself. It's more so about punishing the amount of space between your gold and your natural. It still is something to work with. Oracle opener, Void Ray opener, Phoenix opener even. I would say the Zerg players have gotten very good at deflecting any amount of damage from it. So Lambo, I mean, he could look at this, Void Ray pop up and be like, really? You're still stuck in the past? He's actually gonna scout the Twilight Council. Oh, that was so close, holy shit. So that's good for Lambo, because Lambo could have seen that Void Ray and been just like, really? That's how you're gonna do it? You're gonna like take a Nexus? Like, what's happening here? And to be fair, he's gonna try and take a Nexus, but the Twilight Council coming down that quickly, that's the trick that Nightmare was hoping to get away with. And now Lambo knows about it. So they depths, the Dark Shrine, in this case, might come later, but it is coming. Spores do come down, so that's always kind of the funny thing about following up a Stargate with a Dark Shrine, is that everything requires spores, so. But if you have no idea that it's a Dark Shrine, if you're just whatever, depths, whatever, Void Rays, whatever, then the Spore could be sniped. That's the only concern. I think Nightmare is... I think he's flying by the seat of his pants. Hard to say. But I feel like it was going to be Resident Enclaves. Maybe I'm wrong. And then he was like, up, Nexus, up, Dark Shrine. Shield battery's not done. That's the only reason Lambo's doing this, I think. Doesn't kill any of the adepts. Oracle almost died, apparently. Got one revelation and is now a PTSD, I guess. Second Stargate comes down, and I would be actually quite on board a Phoenix follow-up, just to be as jukey and jivey and drunken mastery as possible. Void Rays, I don't like. Because while Phoenix can fail, they can utterly fail. Aha, I have 12 Phoenix. Oh, you have 12 Queens and 2 Spore. Okay, whatever. There's that chance that Phoenix can be a surprise, and that they under-defend a particular location and kind of snowballs, kill the Queens, kill... There's only one Spore Brawler, so you still have all the drones. The Void Rays are so much more one-dimensional in my eyes. You either use them or you don't. They don't really fly around. Then we have a Fleet Beacon being gotten. So that's not gonna happen for a while. Lambo's already spreading that creep to the middle. I'm gonna take a moment here and be happy that Queen Walks exist. Just one moment. Cheer for the Queen Walk. I don't see how Nightmare holds this. The Void Rays, someone did the math on the amount of Void Rays you would have less if you were to go straight into Void Rays, and it's like 2 less Void Rays, right? Or maybe it was 4 less Void Rays. It was something considerable, right, for the type of situation that Protoss would find themselves in. This obviously was not right into Void Rays, though, so it just is... It's got other problems. Oh, where's the Overseer? Of course, I kind of forgot about the Dark Shrine because I saw the Fleet Beacon. But the Overseer was quick to be made. More creep spilling forward. The 2 carriers on the way are going to only have so many interceptors to work with initially. Stasis Trap was bopped. And let's see if This can do the trick. DT is once again warped in, but an Overseer is available. Only one, however, so it's got to be careful. Lambo, be careful. Lambo, be careful. Lambo, be careful! This displeases the ZombieGrub. Yeah, so apparently Nightmare's gonna get away with this. He's gonna get into carriers. I think he sees the DTs. He's making a lot more Overseers. 3 already finished, 2 more on the way. Overcharge is on cooldown, and the Queens now have creep to transfuse, so maybe it's still fine. No gulag for Lambo. The DT does sneak in. I have concern. I want to hype this up, but I also kind of want to just be like, I want to just watch. I'm a pure spectator right now. 5 drones going down already. Overseer is available, so the DT should die as soon as Lambo turns around, but it's the DT over here that's causing the ruckus. It's causing the problems. 9 drones were killed in total when you're already on a lower drone count. Yes, the gold base is making up for some of that, but you got to be careful. This is quite dedicated. More drones are on the way, not more attack, but the Queens, can they still do the trick? Please, Queens? Queens, you're good? You're so good? You're so good. You're such a balanced unit. Look at this balanced part of StarCraft 2. Never dying Queens. Thank you so much. So as you can see, the carriers do not have any interceptors. They keep on being popped out, and they keep on dying immediately. +1 is done, I think, so that's been helping for a while, but no attempt to go into +2 is going to reduce the chances of Nightmare's future success, and okay, we're good. We're good. Lambo's going to win it. Yes. That was a real concern. The longer that he wasn't pushing into Nightmare, the more I was getting concerned, for sure. But now Lambo has 68 drones, which he's probably oversaturated, actually. And he also has a Spire, so he can get into a couple of Corruptors. Worst case, he builds 2 or 3, tries to kill a carrier, doesn't kill a carrier, and that's throwing away money. But if he just builds 8 Corruptors, 6 maybe a little bit low, I think he's still fine. And he's grabbing a 4th base. Nightmare can't really afford to go for any DT harassment. He's desperately trying to build Immortals and build Interceptors. And if Nightmare could just tap out, that'd be great. Forget detection, they're all in 2 times in a row. I mean, he only forgot about it for the first 15 seconds because he didn't know about the Dark Shrine. I really don't think that's a point against Zerg, to be honest. I think that's reaching. He had a lair. He could have gotten an Overseer. The Dark Shrine was really oddly timed and hadn't been shown yet. So he didn't have an Overseer at the time, but he pretty much immediately detected it. And the second time was because he got his Overseer too. There you go. Nightmare is now officially without a victory. Nightmare was a bit all over the place. They might have hoped that Serral would be sent out on Pride. They might have been looking at Nightmare as a bit of a sacrificial lamb too. So if that's the case, good on CatZ's team to say we don't need to send Serral on a favored Zerg map. We'll just send Lambo. I think he's fine. He's going to be fine against anyone on that map. Because if it was Lambo who was going up against Zest, then that's really not bad for Lambo, but it's not as comfortable as Serral going up against Zest. Feel bad for Nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for all the players who haven't won. They all are good enough to win a game, just unlucky. So Nightmare and I think Mana. Very unlucky. And then Bunny is currently the undefeated player in the team league, despite having a injured wrist for the first couple of weeks. I think it was in the process of already getting better. He was wearing a soft cast, not a hard one. So he might be totally fine now, I don't know. But regardless, very impressive to go undefeated. Of all the players, I guess, to go undefeated in this team league, it wasn't Bunny. It was Maru and Serral that I thought might go undefeated. And it's not that Bunny has gotten nothing but easy games. He's had a couple of real thinkers. He just pulled through. So Prince has won, I believe, one game. Maybe not. He's won at least 2. Ah, he's won 3 games. Wow. I very much underestimated Prince. So, pretty solid pick, actually. Just not as solid as Bunny. Bottom left, Bunny. Top right, Prince. But I think Bunny's, gonna win it. Even if there wasn't the Civil War statistics on my side, I do believe that Bunny is the better player. Prince is still very unproven. Yeah, Bunnies won the last 2 times they faced off against each other, and the only other time they played was in 2017. 2017. That's a long time ago. And Prince did win that best of 1. But otherwise, it's been Bunny victorious. I wouldn't be shocked to hear that Bunny doesn't even hit Prince all that often on the ladder, because I would not be surprised to hear that Bunny's 500 MMR more than Prince. Maybe not 500, but yeah. Prince did drop down the probe to the low ground at 19 to at least see this coming, but couldn't get the Nexus up. So even though he brought down 3 probes, it still isn't fast enough to get the Nexus, then the Cybernetics core. So we got the Cybernetics core, then the Nexus. Want to count Prince out? I'm pretty much counting him out. It's proof that you can't count anyone out in the Caster Civil War. There's been a lot of upsets, but Bunny's very solid. Thing is, I don't think Prince has been all that tricky. I'd only be worried for Bunny if he doesn't anticipate some type of mid-game all-in, perhaps. And Prince executes it very well. So like what Nightmare tried to do against Kelazar. That's scary. But Nightmare didn't execute it all that well. Are you sure that Kelazar is 7k in MMR? He has been. And I believe that's what I said. I said Kelazar is very solid, he's very strong, he's been 7k MMR in Europe. Sort of like exact words and cadence. It was one of his hire me points in the last Caster Civil War in the War Chest Team League. He said that he was 7k on the ladder, and I was like, oh. But unfortunately, no one picked him. And that was when he was part-time. He's been full-time for a bit under a year, I think, for now. The Bunny beats the Prince. Someone's gonna make some child's fairy tale out of this one. Yeah. Bunny has a Helene, I think, going across the map. No, that's his Reaper. And now the Helene's going across the map. Starport still being produced. And it looks like Prince has opened up with a Stargate. Did he already scout this Stargate? He did. So he's going to get another scout in, see if it's an Oracle or a Phoenix. This is a great additional scout from the Reaper. It's going to miss. It's going to miss the Oracle and only see a Phoenix. The Hellion's going to see the Oracle, though. So he's already building anti-Stargate measures, a Viking here. Not going to build a Cyclone. It's already was going for the Wood of Mine, decided to stick with it. Oh. Close one. A little hull damage from the Viking. Very standard, safe way of protecting your base. I guess he might get a Raven. Yeah, he's gonna get a Raven, swap off the factory. This Raven's gonna be really helpful because it's apparently not gonna be a Phoenix play. It's gonna go Twilight Robo. Robo Twilight. He gets one Oracle, cancels the Phoenix. It was just to make Bunny think it was going to be Phoenix, so that was kind of a nice touch. Bunny could still very well be expecting a couple of Phoenix. We saw that from earlier from Zest, right? So it's not impossible. But like I was saying, in the Zest game, it's usually not how it opens if you go into Phoenix. This is usually what I was expecting into the Twilight Council more so than the Faster Robo. But Faster Robo, Faster Robotics Bay. Looks like Prince is going to try and fit in basically 2 out of 3 things, okay? Fitting in all 3 of these things is going to be really difficult. Economy, upgrades, and technology. So he's going to try and get a 3rd Nexus really well timed, fair enough. He's going to try and get Colossus, very well timed, fair enough. What he can't really afford is going for a Forge. Because he's also getting Blink. You know, that's a lot of resources, while also remembering to survive against whatever Bunny's planning. So that's the disputable lead that Bunny's going to have. He's going to have +1 attack, done. Maybe have an advantage on +1 armor, depending on how much Prince puts into the Chrono. 2 Hellions died. The Prince is trying to get away with a lot. So the Oracle is great because it can tell you just how much you can really get away with. Big push number 1 for Bunny is going to be pretty scary because of the Raven. We're going to have an interference matrix on the Colossus. Take that out of the equation, and then we'll see what the bio on the ground can do. That is the scariest timing for a Protoss doing any type of Colossus build, is when the interference matrix are in play. So you usually, as the Protoss player, want to bait it out. So you engage a Terran army a bit ahead, back away if you have to use force fields, fair enough, and then hopefully you bait it out, the interference matrix in the process. If you don't bait it out, then at the very least you hope that the... No stasis trap, that sucks. You hope that the Colossus got some damage before the actual engagement happens. So the Oracle dying really sucks, because Prince doesn't know exactly where he's going to be attacked from. Left or right makes a huge difference. Good use of the probe. Even if it is a gas mining probe, to get that scout. 1 shield battery is available. Interference matrix, there you have it. And can the rest of the army actually handle? No. Apparently not. Maybe yes. Interference matrix number 2 could come down. Wood of Mine gets a really hefty amount of damage there, and there it is, number 2. We're gonna blitz into the natural and maybe stop that second Colossus. Oh, yeah, number 1 gets AI'd into the army. And I think that is Bunny continuing to be undefeated. The Stalkers with Micro, the Stalkers with the shield battery might be able to win against this very small ragtag group of units, but Bunny disagrees. He's gonna Micro as well, loses the Viking, saves the Marauders. There's 2 Wood of Mine still in place and is rallying across the map, so he's hoping that he can continue this aggression. The Colossus pops out, takes a lot of hull damage right off the bat, is gonna get taken down. And that's bad news. Prince needs, 1 Colossus would have cleaned this up already. That second Colossus popping and being behind a wall, this has been helped. But the way things have gone, it's quite unfortunate. Good save! Bunny's showing off at this point, man. What a show off. Prince tries to fit in his 4th base. One thing that went uninterrupted during that was his economy. So it still sucks because he lost very important robo units. Very important. But his economy was good. Stable, I'll put it that way. It's stable. So 7 probes did go down to, I think, an auto turret. Oh, what am I drop? The Raven die? Yeah, the Raven died. But he manages to accumulate enough minerals, slap down a 4th Nexus, which Bunny might not be thinking about, right? Bunny's like, wow, I just killed 3 Colossus. Damn, I'm good. I'm gonna win this game. This guy's gonna be on the back foot. He might expect the 4th base 40 seconds from now. But not finished when he goes to check on it. Bunny's got another really feisty push. So the first one was the Interference Matrix. Second one's gonna be when he has Ghost and Vikings. Very difficult for Prince to hold against that. Because Prince, would hopefully, ideally, have already had 3 Colossus moved on into Disruptors. And then you don't have a direct counter. Yada, yada, yada. Only 1 Colossus is pretty bad. But even if he had 2 or 3, as the Viking count grows, as the EMPs get implemented, 2 or 3 Colossus would still be a scary low amount. He's going to die for it once again. I think it's very unnecessary to do that. But he's also, what am I dropping in the natural? Prince is trying to handle all of these attacks, and he's so far doing an admirable job of it, but no Observer means the Widow Mines are going to fire once again. 4 Vikings take on the first Colossus. No need to engage with the Bioforces on the ground, right? So you pull those away from the Colossus beams, and then the Marauders will take down the Stalkers, especially if they're better upgraded, which they absolutely are. Here come the reinforcements. Here come the EMPs. Widow Mines, like I said, are going to pop off once again. Barely out of range of those Zealots, but more Widow Mines have reinforced. So they're going to pop off, actually kill a Marauder in the process. We get a little bit of a chase from Prince as well, as Bunny is probably still going to take the engagement. He's pulling back to reinforcements. And again, these Widow Mines still being a problem. Oh, a cannon finished. All right. There. Is an issue. Another Widow Mine gets taken down. Observer barely escapes the scan. Bunny, he would love to have already finished the game already, but Prince refuses to die. And good on Prince for it, but I hope that he eventually dies. We're about to have 1-1. Oh my god, Colossus number 4. Jesus, stop dying. Okay, good shield battery. Good shield battery overcharge. Save that, Colossus. But yeah, +1 armor is going to finish and even up the upgrades for a hot second, but then +2 weapons is going to finish for Bunny. Bunny, I think, just needs to consolidate an A move. Almost A move. One of the deceiving things about the supplies is absolutely the reinforcement line, as well as the amount of medevacs, which aren't not helpful, just as not maybe formal Marauders would probably be good too. Widow Mines pop off, kill that 1 Colossus. How many Colossus died in this game? Total of 5. And I think this is the final engagement. I agree. I think Prince did what the underdog should, which is, there's 2 options. Be super aggressive or be super greedy. And I think he was pretty greedy, and he almost cut the right corners. He almost walked that tightrope correctly. But Bunny is going to remain undefeated. GG. I see it, guys. I see it. We're gonna get to the playoffs. And now it's going to be Serral versus Zest. Just going to be on America's. So Zest and Serral, it isn't a sure thing. It really isn't. Serral's not really been the hottest lately. Even the games he wins in the Caster Civil War can be a little A little rougher than expected. And Zest has taken him down even at Serral's peak. But Serral absolutely has the winning record. So if Serral does what we expect him to, wins this match, then the Grub-Lub-Dub-Dubs are playing on Sunday. And DeMuslim's team will officially be out of playoff contention. Which is just... it's just fun. Yeah, Bunny's the only undefeated player. Thank you for the 100 bits, Coil Twitch bot. Can DeMuslim knock out Pig, though? So I don't know what happens if both DeMuslim and Pig lose. Because one of them would then advance. I'm not sure about that math. I haven't paid attention to that math. Someone do that math. I'm more so concerned about me. Top left, Serral. Bottom right, Zest on Berlingrad. I'm expecting some adept play. Again, Serral playing for CatZ. He's the goat on the goat in the gang. He's been a little less goaty than usual. Any of the boys beat Pig's team, so if the map difference is tied, it'd be them advancing. So I guess the question is about the maps, because that's what I was thinking it was going to be when I looked, but I wasn't confident enough to say it. It looks like Pig's team's going to win, though. I don't know how recently Wikipedia has been updated. Usually it updates very quickly. Okay, so it hasn't updated that last victory quite yet. So Benny and the boys currently 16-17. War Pigs, I think, have been updated to have the 17-16 score. Oh, it's very close between them. Very interesting. Oof. Yeah, they're always 15 seconds slow. How are they so bad at their job? We're playing on West for this, so that is important to note as well. I definitely am of the opinion that it's a little less impactful for ZVP for a lot of the mid game. But I do think that ping is not some cover-all. It's always better for this or always better for that. It's, you know, pretty situational. So against adepts early on, the drone micro, the drone cancel micro, right? That might not be as good as usual. But as far as setting up a big Ling, Baneling, Ravager concave, that kind of happens preemptively anyways. It's not split second. EU to West, I think the guys have said sometimes 150. That's usually what it is. Some of them deal with like 200, I think some of the Russian players. We do have that Twilight Council on the way. Big surprise. Serral should be picking up the tiny little details that encourage thinking about a Twilight Council, which is the Warp Gate coming out, and then the Stalker coming out as well. Trick for Zerg players, Resident Glaives, DTs. You can't defend against both, but there's problems with both, even if you think you're well defended. Spore Crawler could be sniped, and Adepts could still do an surprise amount of damage. You think you have the preparation, you think you're all good to go. Suddenly adepts you didn't track, kill 10 drones, and you go, oh shit. It is going to be a Dark Shrine. So as long as Serral remembers a Spore Crawler, he should be fine. Now, the issue here, as we see Charge, actually... Okay, so I was going to say the issue is if Serral over-defends. And then can't quite get a counterattack going. But now, another point to make. So Charge coming out this fast is going to make it into an Archon drop into a follow-up Charge Archon kind of all in. And if Serral doesn't remember that, because it's kind of an old-school build, then he could be caught trying to walk that tightrope between over-defending and under-defending. So he thinks, I don't want to over-defend against what is just DTs. I'm not going to make that many units. I'm going to go back to droning. And then suddenly a bunch of charge lots show up. Then he's made a drastic mistake. So Zest is pinning a lot of his hopes on this 2-base all-in. And Serral cannot scout it. He cannot scout it. So let's see what happens. He knows it is Twilight Council. He has 1 Spore Crawler in the main and 3rd. Nothing in the natural, which sometimes the Protoss try and take advantage of. Warp Prism already gets found out, though. Now the problem is about the follow-up. Serral is not making a lot of units. He thinks he's got this Dark Templar build under control. At most, he'll have to deal with a couple of Archons. He has no idea, as of yet, that it's going to be a follow-up 2-base all-in. The longer he sees no 3rd Nexus, the more he's going to be a question marking. I want Serral to win. But can he pick up on it fast enough? Can he get enough units? I would love to see more units. 50 drones is fine. 50 drones is fine. He still sees no 3rd base. I think he's picking up on it. I think he is. More units are being made. Please, more units, no drones, no drones. Spine Crawl is coming down. I think he's picked up on it. He has, 100%. 3rd Nexus is way too late. Oh, I think we're good. Not to be too dramatic, but I think we're good. The real question was absolutely if he's going to build units or not. And now that he's building units, I think we're fine. His Ling's going to see the Zealot move out, and he's going to know that he made the right call. The drones are being a target. The Warp Prism has to be so careful here. Like, holy shit, be so careful about using your Warp Prism. It's part of his all-in. And killing, a couple of drones is not going to make it worth it. The Spine Crawler finishes in a really nice location, but here's the Warp Prism. Is it going to get the Warp? And it does! The Queens are immediately going to back away. Job well done to them. Transfuse to try and buy some more time. Here comes the Micro. More Roaches are about to pop, but the Archon's still alive. The Roaches about to be corralled. That's where the Archons do a ton of damage. Serral, he might have been too low on the units. That warp-in actually happening could be what causes this game to end in favor of Zest, but more Roaches. Please, the love of God, more Roaches. More Roaches. No. No, I think the Queens diving after the Warp Prism was actually too bad. If they had survived to actually help with the Roaches, I think it might have been a very different game. Drones against Archons is not what you want to see. 1 Archon going to do so much damage. Ah, I thought he had it. Oh, man, but that Zealot warp-in actually getting through changes the game. Fuck. Fuck. Damn it, Zest. Ah, now this is really questionable. Armani is slightly favored against Ryung, but... Ah, damn. Shit. Not all our hopes are on Armani. If he had actually let that Warp Prism live... I mean, it's still bad, right? The Warp Prism living and being able to micro the Archons and reinforce more Zealots, that's bad. But I do wonder how that would have looked. Because then the Queens aren't kind of caught off like they are. The Roaches probably get to be a little more well-protected. Yeah. It was a combination of the Queens getting popped as well as the Roaches that were off to the right side. Not being microed as fast. I think if Serral had also just pulled everything away, then he might have had more room to work with. Because really, the very terrifying dynamic about any type of charge lot all in is finding the units apart from each other. The Zealots become like Lings. The more they get surrounds on something, the better it's going to be for them, right? So if you can consolidate, 7 queens and 10 roaches, then you micro that little blob into a choke, into a mineral line, into something. The Zealots are kind of nullified. The Archons help a little bit, because as Zealots don't deal well with chokes, Archons do well with chokes. They have that splash. It is only 2 Archons, so you kind of hope that you can still hold the line, as it were. But, yeah, he lost too much. It is funny, though. Serral is just not performing very well for being first pick. And by first pick, I don't mean kind of the, whatever first pick that I see a lot of other people's first pick being. I mean, literally, the first person who was chosen. CatZ was like, Serral, and that's why I'm going to win. And see, he's not winning because of Serral. So now we gotta cheer against Ryung. Man, I was pretty sure that Serral was gonna win. I feel cheated. I feel betrayed. Tied up. Bottom left, Ryung. Top right, Armani. If Ryung wins this, DeMuslim's still in the playoffs. Just barely. And we have to hope that War Pigs lose. If Armani wins, though, we're clear sailing. So, Armani top right, Ryung bottom left. Armani has won their most recent match together and wins more often. But Ryung, I think... I know I looked him up. Yeah, they were quite recent. Ryung's also been... Okay, my bad. Ryung won the most recent match. Then Armani, then Ryung, then Armani, then Ryung, then Armani. They're quite back and forth lately. It was really earlier on Ryung's return to pro gaming that Armani was slapping him around. So that's what I was going to say, is that Ryung might be a different Ryung. And he's certainly a better Ryung than 8 months ago. Hopefully Ryung losing to Harsum shook up his confidence. Maybe. Really depends on his particular perspective about the matchups, where he loses to a Protoss like that and says, Protoss. Bunch of bullshit. Zerg? Still pretty bullshit, but not as bullshit. Armani kind of been clutch king. Clutched out 2 victories. Really, he was the one that was the reason that CatZ won on last Saturday, was it? Something like that. And it was also on this map that he was able to clutch it out versus special. So I'm hoping he can at least do that again. Because to be honest, I don't think the War Pigs are going to lose. So if CatZ loses here, then I think I'm just going to accept being out of the playoffs. It is what it is. 3cc build from Ryung is going to start up with a macro game. This is a best of 3 or a best of 5. I think Armani throws in a cheeky roach attack. I think he's the type to do so. But being a best of 1, I don't think Ryung is going to get punished for this. He's also not going to be scouted extremely easily. Putting the 3rd CC back here. Some Zerg players do a cheeky Overlord through the backside. It's pretty rare, though. This is much more common. And even if he had been suiciding his Overlord to see the second gas timing, he might be able to. He'll definitely see the gas timing if he moves it over here. In fact, he could even see it and then move his Overlord back, so I kind of wish he would. As you can tell by how much gas has been mined. I mean, it's a real try-hard thing to do. Try-hards out here. But you can count the gas. You can click on these and see that the gases are a bit later. If you're really on point. If you're really on point. So a lot of people would do that with like Zerg gas timings on the metabolic boost, for instance. But it's not heard of too often anymore. It is that slight difference. So instead of 2200-ish gas, maybe it's supposed to already be at 21-ish gas. 2 Marines is going to stop the Overlord from seeing the full scout. I think that's officially knowing there's no tech lab, I think. It's actually quite hard to tell. I feel like it would be here. And I think that's good information too, and assuming again he knows about the gas timing, he can predict that this is his 3rd CC, no transfer, because at the very least he saw that the building was building. He saw the Viking building, didn't know it was a Viking, but he saw that something was building and it wasn't transferring over to the tech lab. So a lot of different hints about what is actually happening in this game. What is quite unique is that Ryung is adding on a medevac. So he's up to 8, possibly even 10 Hellions. He's gonna stop at 8, okay. So 8 Hellions is still a feisty number. And then a medevac. It's not an armory. It's just Hellion harassment. Yeah, Hellion drop. Could be brutal. Spores being made in the main just in case of a Liberator, perhaps, or a Cloakless Banshee. This Hellion drop could do big damage. Really fast reaction, though. Really fast reaction. Even moving the Spore Crawler is really nice. Well done, Armani. Clearly biased, 100%. Good body block with the Queens on the left side, too. Thank you, Armani. Thank you. And a decent amount does ride on Ryung being able to do something here. So 4 drones is not enough. 8 Hellions is a committal from the Terran player. It does delay your additional barracks. And the more that the Hellions risk themselves, you know, the more that they could die, and then the 3rd CC doesn't get put down as fast as possible. So, it's always a game to play. Ryung is going to just keep his Hellions alive. Spire here for Armani. So Aspire, that higher technology, very good at harassment, picking off these flying units, fantastic. One thing you don't have when you do this is particularly fast upgrades. So he's going to be behind by about 30-40 seconds. Yeah, the Lings patrol very nicely. Because they're so small and fast, they don't really bump into each other like a Thor or Siege tank would. And then other than that opener, what do we got? Tank production. We'll see if he swaps the tanks off to Widow Mines, though that's the word. Widow Mines later on. Well-timed armory, good macro. Armani's about to be able to build, let's say, 7 mutas, maybe? 6 mutas if he gets +1. Window mine. Stare into the window of the mine. 24's patrolling, wouldn't get anywhere. And here's Ryung's first move out. So a typical kind of 7-minute 2-tank push. Very typical. Something Armani should absolutely be preparing for. He's got a little run-by set up for himself. I do like that. I'd say I don't expect it to do a lot. Ryung's going to use some of his Hellions to stay at home. Really nice. Nice little thing that can help you against these small annoyances. Oh, and then he pulls them away. Oh, but he realized it. I mean, not good. Shit. I'm not cheering for him. It's hard. My instinct is to cheer for the Terran. So difficult not to. We do have just pure muta processing. No +1 missile air. That's what it's called. And I agree with that. I think more mutas right now to ensure that they can snipe some of these tanks is the better option. And then once you think you've got a handle on this push, that's when you start up +1 flyer. Because I assume he will get it. I don't think he's just only going to get this many mutas and be done with it. There it is. Right now, Armani having a bit of trouble spending his money. He's getting a 5th base up, but he didn't get it that fast. He didn't double expand, if you will. And he didn't get a macro hatchery either. So more queens. I'm like teaching Platinum player right now. More queens, you know. Anything, everything, please. Ryung is dangerously close to overstaying his welcome. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't tried to evacuate. There we go. He's gonna take actually a decent trade though. Oh, nice little snipe. Oh, just try hard, Terran. Wants to save the banelings. Ooh. That was actually kind of cool. So Ryung took a decent engagement. His tanks got a couple shots on the banelings. The banelings, I think, used themselves on like the Hellbats, right, which is never a fair trade. And then the Marine sniped a couple. But the addition of mutas meant that there was absolutely no escape mid-battle. So that's the give there. So Ryung took banelings and he gave medevacs and tanks, where he could have saved some of that. Thanks, Om Nom Nami. Could have been a lot worse for the Terran. Could have been a lot worse. Now Ryung's going up to 4th bases, now getting his additional barracks. He has not transferred over into Widow Mine production, and only recently got his 2nd factory. Oh, there it is. He's just not producing from it. So he gets a Thor, his primary. Now he's getting into Widow Mine. Still no drilling claws. Armani's taken over the map, no longer having as much trouble spending his minerals since he's on 5, going on 6 bases. And a macro hatchery. Oh, he did get a macro hatchery. How long has he had that? Okay, he needs another one. That's my criticism. Hive actually being gotten. So this is really scary. The Zerg player can't really do both consistent attacks, Ling Baneling, Ling Baneling, Ling Baneling, and get to Hive. Just because it's quite expensive. And then if your Ling Baneling attack doesn't work, you're not necessarily capable of remaxing again. You're waiting for ultras to get kindness planning, which takes a little while, and the Terran army moves across the map. You're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have wasted all those banelings. So, you know, I don't mind Armani being kind of scary, threatening a big old dive, and that certainly keeps Ryung kind of guessing as to what the intentions are late game wise. Like, does he have a hive? Is he just going to try and kill me right here, right now? But it definitely don't commit to it. And as far as the committal of mutas, 21 mutas, one just died. 20 mutas, decent amount, +1 flyer attack. They could try and go in the main base and wreak some havoc. The more that Armani feels comfortable with the amount of creep spread that he has. 2-2 is gonna finish, and actually Ryung's 3 attack was not that fast. So this is not bad. 2 Hellbats, 11 minutes into the game, actually helping? The fuck? Contaminate. You don't see that too often. And there's the Ultra's Cavern. So now I'm just hoping that Armani doesn't Ultra into loss. Can we just not? Could we not? Could we not? Ghost Academy's on the way, but still only on the way. It's going to be timed out pretty much with Ultras with Chitinous. Oh, this is awkward. Oh, yeah, diving way too deep with the mutas. 15 still remain. It's not the worst. Oh, no! That's me. That's me. F? Okay, if it happens again, I'm gonna have to tap out and just watch the stream. Oh, the Widow Mines. The Widow Mines. Oh, he does get the planetary. And we also have some Lings coming into that 3rd base. Hello? Okay, the Lings are doing a lot of damage. And now we have Ryung's march across the map. That is sometimes desperation. Ultras do not have chitinous plating, and it looks like Armani is going to abandon ship on his forward base, and I think that's the right call. If he can wait for chitinous plating as well as more banelings, then he's going to have a much better chance at taking this engagement. Ryung does have some tanks. He's got 3 of them. That's not really that impressive. And he's got 6 Widow Mines. Also not the most impressive counts, but we'll see how it works out. Ultras have popped. Chitinous plating, 20 seconds away from finishing. Muta is still trying to be active on this side of the map as well. Going to find a freebie command center. So that's going to be a base trade. A hatch for a command center. And the Zerg player will happily take that. Ryung's going to pull back, and I do think that's the right call. When we got pulled back, we'll pull away. He was very much in the center of the map where the Zerg player could get all types of surrounds. So pulling back, pulling over to the left side, a little more of a choke to utilize. Good for the Terran. Oh, the Widow Mines! Oh my god. Oh, that one Widow Mine just killed like 20 banelings. Oh my god, Armani, pull back, wait for more banelings. Oh my god. He realized that Widow Mine was targeting him far too late. Because obviously he's like, oh, I guess I'm screwed. Let's lose one on the Widow Mines. And then he still went off. So that's 2 bases for 1. A minor amount of chaos on the SCV count. So Ryung is down below 60. But he has stabilized. And a lot of creeps were being cleaned up too. Muta's back in the hunt. Only 12 of them is not that impressive. But hey, it's still enough to be a bother. And Baneling's gonna roll at the same time. Hopefully Ryung is not paying attention. He's trying to pay attention on this side of the map, actually. So he's absolutely not gonna pay attention to 22 SCVs, as well as the command center. And Ryung has been pushed back entirely. Come on, Armani. Come on. 40 supply lead, up 60 workers, still has bases to work with. I think this is gonna be it, guys. I think this is... Oh, wait, no, I don't want to say that too eagerly. Ultras to lose, ultras to lose, ultras to lose. Don't happen, don't happen, don't happen. No whammy, no whammy. Puts 900 gas into 9 mutas. An interesting decision late into a TVZ, right? But I think in this case, the mutas have been paying off as far as the damage they've done and the chaos they've caused in combination with just a handful of lings. That's really good. Another thing that's been contributing to some of these engagements is that Ryung's +3 was kind of late, right? So the attack was done for most of the engagements over here, I believe, but armor wasn't. Not the most important thing, but just worth noting. Ryung could have had faster 3-3. So Armani even had an upgrade lead for that last battle. And Armani has plenty of minerals to replace the hatcheries. That is not the issue. He is a little low on that gas, so I think he's going to want to take, the gases in anticipation. But Ryung is the one that's low on minerals, so that's a bit more important. 90 supply to 108, though. It's not something as easy as just cracking Ryung open right now. You do got to be careful. We're back up to 20 mutas with +2 flyer attack now, so the missile turrets won't cut it, especially without building armor. Some snipes could go down. Snipe for a muta is pretty worth it. Oh, but muta killing a ghost. Great for the Zerg, and of course not only attacking once, ultras go on the right side too. Mutas are mishandled, they don't know what they want to do. But Armani is gonna get another planetary, and that is very difficult for Ryung to replace. 12 mutas after having 20 again kind of sucks. Got 11. But 12 more mutas. Armani actually sees success in the mutas. Keep the creep spread going, keep Ling Veiling Ultra at home, and the mutas will continue to run around, open up these opportunities. Ryung is struggling. No more technology for the Zerg. I mean, you have a lot to play around with this composition. Some people might be wondering, well, what about lurkers? And it's not impossible to go into lurkers additionally and really be able to tech swap all over the place. Lings to mutas, to banelings, to ultras, to whatever. But it is not usually the case. You are still working with a finite amount of gas and a very different playstyle. You're turning a very mobile composition into a very siege-dependent composition, so it's usually avoided. There's certainly an argument to be made about how much it confuses the Terran. They're like, well, dealing with lurkers on one side and mutas on the other. But we have a little drop, gonna kill up a lot of these drones. Easy enough for Armani to replace mineral-wise, and he does have a decent amount of larva too, so, tiny little thing here. Not the most important. Far more important is that the mutas continue to be microed. I don't want to see Armani having to always afford 1200 to replace his count. I think the medevac's gone. It's done. Oh, 2 Widow Mines. Woo! Woo! So many snipes! Lord, baby Jesus. And we even have +3 flyer weapons. Woof! I wouldn't mind the addition of something. Oh, infestors. There you go. Infestors would be great. Let's get some fungals going. Also, the creep spread. I think the creep queens were killed. I don't see them out in the map. So that was something that Armani was definitely wanting to continue, is having all that vision, all that space, so that the Terran player is like, well, Jesus, I don't think I want to actually move on to this. This seems a little over-eager, continuing to move off of that creep into the ghost. Of course, they're going to counter with the snipes. Armani, I think, was hoping for this run-by to work out, but that is a planetary at this point. Armani, only up 20 army supply, could be all gone in a flash if he takes too bad of an engagement, so please, do not take a terrible engagement. More banelings are on the way, but the snipes are going to come down. That's boom, suddenly 2 ultras gone. Armani, where is the army? 38 banelings, 49 banelings start up. We're talking about a very limited amount of splash, but a lot of chonky units So this is getting dicey. I don't like it. I don't like being anxious. Here come the Banelings. Here come the Lings. Here come all the Banelings ever created in the entire freaking StarCraft 2 world, trying to win this game for Armani, who still has the supply. He still has the bases. He just took down a planetary. There's the GG. Armani does it for the Grubs and for CatZ's team, which is less important. I'm the most important person here. Way to go, Armani. Fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's listen in.
If he gets maxed, he's kind of back in the game, and then he chooses to move out with 160, 170 supply. So in my mind, it was Armani that needed to be doing something, and it's Ryung instead that gives the opening to Armani. But yeah, I agree. Maybe he could have just defended instead of like counterattacking or something like that and cleared the army a little bit better. But in the end of all things,
Strange Ways.
it's gonna be us taking the clan war. And Benny, you are now depending on Pig. Walk me through that situation.
Well, depending on Pig losing, which, you know, for most parts, I can absolutely count on him, but it's his players that are going to be doing it, you know, and when it comes to Pig's players, they're pretty damn good. So, oh, brutal. That's a roughie. That is a roughie. Oh, mate.
Let's see. So, I mean, it's Laser versus Hero, which Hero is probably favored in. Right, but then your problem is Clem versus Keen. Keen has to beat Clem for you to advance, and otherwise you're out. Is that right?
I think so.
Wardi, is that right? Nate's team has to win both maps.
Hero has to beat a laser, and Keen has to beat Clem. That's the only way Ben advances.
Damn.
Thank you, CatZ, for
right.
making it nice and easy for me. You know, it was a pleasure in this this team battle. I have to. Me and the boys are going out for a drink at the pub after this one, you know, because we're gonna need it.
For sure, Benny. You're gonna fly to Korea and get that drink. I feel like Benny should be in that last match casting the Clem versus Keen as well. What do you think, Benny?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It'll be too sad. It'll be too sad if it doesn't work out, you know. And
For sure.
the last thing that I want to show my boys is tears on camera. You know, that's what we want. We've had a good season together. You know, it's been brutal, man. It's been brutal. Oh.
Yes, indeed. I want to remind people, of course, that tomorrow we have the $1,000 not pick tournament for the players who were not chosen during the Caster Civil War. So there's an opportunity for them to make some money as well. Thanks to Wardi for organizing that. And you guys make sure to check that out. And then we're going to have playoffs on Sunday. And then we'll throw it to the end. I was just reading Wardi's chat. And then it says throw it to the end when ready. And I started reading that.
Absolutely fantastic job, CatZ. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but I mean, guys, we're also 3,000 away from further increasing the prize pool on the Kickstarter. So type !Kickstarter in the chat. And with that prize pool increase for the players, there's also a prize pool introduced for the casters, which I would much like to come.
We actually will officially, no matter what, 100% we will have a caster prize pool. That's guaranteed. I think we will probably, because it's the final day already and we're not quite there yet, is we're probably not going to raise the prize pool because we have other costs to spend stuff on instead. So you can still support the Caster Civil War Kickstarter, but obviously we're kind of, because we're very close to the end, we're kind of just changing up what the goals are. So we will absolutely have a caster's prize pool, and then we just had like a lot of behind the scenes costs that stuff's going on too, basically.
Hello.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Do we know what the breakdown is? I guess we can talk about that off camera as well. But
yeah, I think it's something like, it's very flat. It's like 800, 600, 400, 400, 200, 200 or something off the top of my head.
Okay.
I don't know.
Not very top heavy.
My guys are being funny in the Discord.
No.
All right. Well,
just trying to pay you guys a little bit. That's all.
But the trophy is.
But yes, the trophy
coming home. Okay, yeah, the trophy. All right.
I'll get the trophy on screen quickly, just in case people haven't seen it. I'll put it over Ben because he's not going to get it. So. My camera gone. Oh, my camera is actually already over there. Here's the beautiful trophy, everyone.
That is the trophy. It's beautiful.
Oh, this is a rough day, boys.
It's a rough day, Benny. All right. Any final words, Benny? I mean, it's probably your final words, so go ahead and.
Oh, friends out there, you know, thank you for supporting Benny and his boys. We wanted more. We wanted to show more. We wanted to continue. Pray for Pig to lose really hard. Yeah, let's hope that the boys... Let's hope... Oh, our friend in need, Rotterdam, knows that those lads are training over there, including Clem. Take him out drinking, Kev. Do what you do best. Corrupt the youth of today. You know, make the StarCraft generation worse by doing what you do best, drinking. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I love you guys. It's been a pleasure. And, yeah, come on, Nate and his team.
Come on, Nate and his team. So, yeah, we're going to go to a quick commercial break now. And when we get back, the resolution and the ending of these group stages with Pig versus Nate. That's right now, Wardi? Oh, that's not right.
Right now, we're just ending. There'll be a rebroadcast.
Right now, we're just ending. We're going to a quick rebroadcast. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you around in the semifinals.
G fucking G, guys. We did it.